Hey, welcome back to my blog. I'm here today with Medics at Home and Brian Townsend. Brian Townsend and his family own Medics at Home, and then they've got a couple of other businesses, and we're going to talk about each one of them. But Brian, can you tell everybody out there what Medics at Home is all about?
Sure. Thanks, Bill. I guess first maybe I'll give you a little history of, you said it's family business. Me and my dad, we're both paramedics and on a local fire department, Irvington Fire Department. I've been on for 18 years and he's going on 35 years. So about 2 years ago we decided to get in the private side of EMS, and that's where we came up with the name Medics at Home. We'll talk about the name a little bit later. Kind of deals with some new things going across the nation. One of them called a community paramedic.
Now, are you looking at this as kind of a franchise type thing, or are you going to go into other communities? How big of an area do you guys service?
Right now, we're basically in the Nebraska, Iowa area. You know, at some point, the community paramedic part will be franchised.
Yep.
The transport side of the business, again, right now we're in Nebraska, Iowa. We travel all over the U.S., but we're based here in
So if I've got
Omaha.
somebody, say up in Rapid City, that needs transportation back here, and they need medical assistance, you guys can go up there, bring them back, and
Definitely, yep. We do both wheelchair and ambulance transportation.
Okay.
So if you know, someone's on a stretcher, needs oxygen, maybe has an IV going, we do that. Or if someone's in a wheelchair, we can go anywhere in a wheelchair, pick you up, and bring you back home. Or,
Okay.
yeah.
Now I see over here we got ProMed EMS. What's different between the ProMed EMS and Medics at Home?
Well, they're similar. About a few months ago, we bought ProMed EMS. They're based down in Falls City in Auburn, Nebraska. We have about 4 ambulances down there. A little different model. We do non-emergency transport, but we also support the volunteer departments down in those areas. They're rural, so most of them are BLS, and we offer ALS with a paramedic on the squad. So another part of the ProMed concept is our EMTs and paramedics work in the hospitals. You'll hear a lot about nursing shortages and just paramedics being short in the rural areas. So our EMTs and paramedics do time in the hospitals.
Because don't a lot of your volunteer fire departments, they will typically transport from the scene of an accident or wherever they pick somebody up to the closest hospital.
Right.
And so if they need to go from that hospital, say up to UNMC, that's where you guys step in. You go down there, you'll pick them up and then transport them up to UNMC.
Yep, down in ProMed, yep, we do that. We do transfers, but we also do 911 response.
Okay.
With the local departments.
So if they need mutual aid, do you guys pick up on mutual aid then?
Yep, down that area. Yep, if they have, say, a major car accident where the person needs an IV and drugs, most squads in rural areas can only handle basic life support like oxygen, you know, stopping major bleeding.
Yeah, because a lot of them don't have paramedics. They're lucky if they have EMSs. But
correct. Yep.
Yeah. And then this is the one that I'm most familiar with. Is I see this one all around town, Omaha Ambulance.
Oh yeah, we're all over the place.
And then Omaha Ambulance, what's the difference there?
You know, a similar concept. We do, Omaha Ambulance has been around since 1938, so we've been around for a while. We have about 10 ambulances in the Omaha area. Do a lot of hospital to hospital transports, nursing homes in the area call us. We also do some private customers. Instead of calling 911, they might call us for a transport to the hospitals.
Okay, so you will deal with places like Elmwood Towers or Skyline Manor if they need transportation, if a family member needs an elder to take them somewhere, and or you guys also do contract services. Now, did I hear right that you guys are contracted with the VA?
Yep.
To help them as well?
Yep. Here in the Omaha area, we transport patients for the VA. Again, you know, we'll take patients from VA Omaha to VA Minneapolis, Iowa. We go all over the place for them. And then we do all their wheelchair transports as well.
I was in I sponsored a ski trip out to Colorado for some teenagers, and one of our young men hit a tree and he broke his pelvis in 13 places, and he ended up having to get surgery up in Denver. And I know I had talked to you guys about the possibility of coming out to Denver, picking him up and transporting him back if he needed to, but he didn't need to, but those kind of services are available.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys have connections with doing any kind of air transportation? You know, if somebody needs either a helicopter or some kind of a medic plane to go from point A to point B to get them here.
Yep, we have a lot of companies that we partner with. They fly in a TAC Air down by Epley Airfield. You know, they're having the patients in the airplane having medical care done, and then we come there to pick up the patient, usually the crew as well, and then transport them to a local hospital.
Well, we're gonna move into their control tower. I call it the 911 center, and we're gonna see what how that operation goes. But if you guys have anybody that needs medical assistance or transportation or whatever, make sure you give these guys a call. There's no phone number.
Oh, this one doesn't have a phone number.
What's your phone number? Give it to them.
402-345-6666. And we're open 24/7 every day of the year, so
okay.
we're always
And
staffed.
then, do you have a website?
Yep, www.omahaambulance.com.
And we'll put that on the blog also. So
okay.
And that way you've got it. But let's go move into the emergency center. As you can see, we're in the communication center. I don't communicate very well, but these guys do, so let's go see what they do.
Omaha 28, please be en route 121 North 42nd Street. 121 North 42nd Street, going to VA.
I finished making coffee.
There you go. There's one of our transit squads going out right now, if you heard that over the intercom.
So tell them what goes on in here.
Well, basically, you know, the nursing homes or the hospitals, they have our phone number. They'll give us a call. We have trained dispatchers here, at least 2 at most times, and they'll take phone call, get all the information in, insurance information, patient condition.
You stay here. You stay here. Keep doing it.
And
I'm going to take over.
and then they'll get on they'll take all the information in our computer, and then they'll get on the radio and dispatch the appropriate squad.
Please have my radio back.
And then it depends, you know, again, we'll have usually one dispatcher is doing ambulance calls, and the other one is doing wheelchair calls.
Holy smokes, she's got 3 screens. I've only got 1. She's good.
They keep busy. They definitely keep busy in here.
All right, I'm here with Tom Townsend, and Tom is the other half of this operation. And there's a thing that I keep hearing about called community paramedics or community ambulance. What's that all about?
Well, there's a big movement going around all over the U.S. and Minnesota has been one of the states that's been really key in this. Is basically trying to utilize the EMS resources a little more fully than we are today. Meaning, you know, when we're not running transports or 911 calls, there's other things that we could be out in the community helping with, and that's maybe visiting patients one time after they got out of the hospital from an event or a surgery to make sure they're following their directions. Making sure that you know, if somebody's going out of town, like a son or somebody, and they want their father checked in on, we can stop in and check their blood pressure, check their blood sugar. Things that paramedics can do, but maybe the person doesn't quite qualify for home health visits and things like that. You know, eventually it's going to start a little slow because there's no Medicaid or Medicare pay codes for it yet, except in Minnesota where they've gotten this through their Medicaid. But it's a very small dollar amount. The other thing that we're going to focus on is, and they're doing this in some of the other states, is visiting people that what in the EMS business we call our frequent flyers, people who maybe go to the hospital multiple times through the course of a month. And if you can get to the root of their problem, maybe get them introduced to other social or other support things in the community, you might keep them out of the hospital, which is very expensive for everybody involved. So,
and I would imagine with the medical industry going through the gyrations it's going to because of the pending administrative changes with healthcare, everything's so convoluted right now and up in the air that they're looking for more efficient ways of doing things, maybe a little bit different alternative. There's going to be a bigger demand on doctors and nurse practitioners and PAs. So you guys are probably the backup defense to all of that then.
right. In a lot of this communities, and Nebraska is no different than any place else. We have a lot of rural and a lot of what we call frontier communities where nurses, doctors, and practitioners, home health agencies, all that don't exist because there's not enough business. But yet there are paramedics and EMTs that may live and work in those communities that, you know, could go out and do some visits, you know, from time to time to try and help. You know, sometimes in some parts in Nebraska, it's an hour to the nearest hospital,
Sure.
or so patients have to travel a long way. But one of our concepts when we first started hearing about this, hence the name Medics at Home, was that there's a lot of need, and it only takes 3 minutes to become rural outside of Omaha. You don't have to go very far.
Yeah.
So we just think there's a big need out there, and there's a lot of times when our crews are sitting here between calls, catching up on their paperwork or whatever, where if we needed to, or if we could figure out a way to work that in and help the community, we could be out visiting a few patients from time to time and maybe keeping them out of the hospital long term.
Now, another thing, if there's a special event in Omaha, like a concert, or I don't know what else, you know, maybe a golf deal coming up or whatever, where they need some emergency services available, you guys will do that too, won't you?
A big part of our business is what we call standby services. We do. We're doing Eagle Raceway this year. We're doing Horseman's Park. We do Creighton basketball. We're at all the Creighton basketball games. We're at Creighton soccer, men's and women's. We do concerts. We do fun runs. We do the 5 and 10K supports when they're out there. And all those.
How far out will you go? What's your radius?
For most of those, we're usually in Nebraska, and just in Nebraska and Iowa, outside of those. But, you know, if there was something that needed something where there was no local support, I mean, depending on the distance, we would go support it.
Okay, all right. Well, if you've got any questions whatsoever in regards to paramedic service, EMS, transportation to and from hospitals, nursing homes, therapy, at-home medics, anything of that nature, give these guys a call, and they'd be happy to help you out. Now,
absolutely.
Your phone number again is?
402-345-6666.
Very good. Yeah, we're testing him because he usually doesn't know these things.
I don't call myself.
Great. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you next time.